a component of the ischiorectal fossa, medially bound by this, laterally bound by fascia here. That is part of the contribution of the lateral wall. And then you can see behind it the sacrotuberous ligament. Under the sacrotuberous ligament, you would find the continuation of that space, the odoris. And then when you go on the inside here, another continuation of the space, the anterioris, and you said this can connect the space that you are going to find around this region that we cannot see because of the orientation. So I think that is what I would be interested in covering today. And please, I want to remind you, sometimes so many terminologies and that are confusing, but I want you to appreciate the concept of the pelvic diaphragm, which is first covering. We have the deep pouch. We have a sheet of deep transverse muscles, and that is being covered between the fascia of the pelvic diaphragm and below it, the perineal membrane. We have another sheet of muscles within the superficial perineal pouch, mainly the superficial transverse, and then the bulboconiosus and the ischiocavernosus, and that is held within superior the perineal membrane or the inferior fascia of the perineum, and the superficial fascia, the perineum below. So pelvic diaphragm, then the perineum, differentiate between the perineum and the perineal membrane, because the perineal membrane is just meaning the inferior fascia. And then you also now bring in the concept of the divisions of the perineum into the urogenital and the anal triangle. You are going to find these pouches within the urogenital region and not in the anal triangle. Then the other concept of the urogenital diaphragm, and we said the urogenital diaphragm is that sheet of muscle covered by fascia, the superior fascia and the inferior fascia. The superior fascia is that fascia of the diaphragm. The inferior fascia is the perineal membrane. And what is held within the urogenital diaphragm? The urogenital diaphragm muscles that we have looked at. Deep transverse, sphincter urethrae. The other terminologies are those of the ischiorectal fossa or the ischioanal fossa. When you're doing this reading, it helps a lot as well, because these separations are being created by fascia. It helps a lot if you blend these, most especially the fascias of the pelvic cavity, and when you're reading, you blend them well with the fascia that you covered of the abdominal cavity, because it's a continuation of fascia from the abdomen to the pelvic cavity. And that continuation has a significance when it comes to aspects like infections, abscesses, because it's the same continuation that they can be spread either way. Tomorrow, I request that we as well have an hour. If it's not possible, we can still have it on, maybe we have it on Thursday. Can we have an hour on Thursday now to look at the pelvic viscera? Marvin, is that fine? We have an hour on Tuesday, on Thursday, but Thursday it means it cannot be possible after lunch. It is only possible for lunch, because on Thursday, I'm thinking we should not have any lectures after lunch. Not anatomy, but even if it's I don't know, biochemistry or what, because I think you were requesting that we give them that afternoon for some webinar, which I think you would also be interested in attending from 2 to 5. So I was thinking we should not use breakout rooms. It might be disturbing. So if we are planning for any lectures on that, let us put them before lunch. This is especially to you. Is that fine?
Actually, I'm like, we can have that before lunch on Thursday.
So can we do like maybe 10 to 11 or 9 to 10?
9 to 10.
9 to 10.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And have a good day.
Doctor, there are some questions in the room that you haven't answered, so I don't know. Could we use the remaining time, maybe just?
The problem is that so much goes on in the chat that sometimes the most important thing is to ignore. Let me see. Why can't we talk about this? Because this is another system altogether. And probably some of these some of these are not questions. But what I'm seeing here is that people are talking about another system altogether. Why don't we keep this for the viscera, especially reproductive system? And then I would especially ask Edith and Patricia to play on this. I think Patricia, you have smart people asking. That's what I'm seeing. Patricia is not here. Yes, Patricia is even here. Next time we are going to talk about Hazelith is here also. We shall talk about your vestibular glands and your oversicretion or urine. Is it urine or secretion? And Skinny's glands. And then the podindo, I think someone is making a comment on the podindo nerve block about the palpation of the ischio. There is no